morning, everybody. Yep, it's Tuesdays with Paula. And the first question I have for you is, what do you think of when you hear the word magic? Magic. What's your first thought? Do you think about witches and brooms and Harry Potter? I usually think about the field of unlimited possibilities. When I think of magic, I know that it is our broomstick, our vehicle, to expand to places and levels and states of being that we haven't even been able to imagine. That's what magic is for me. And every day I try to find some way to step into that a little bit more and more. So today we have with us Megan Sillito. I always struggle with your name, and I'm not going to ever struggle again. Sillito. Okay.
Sillito.
All right.
That's sexy heels.
That's right. That will work. Yeah. All right. We have Megan Sillito with us today. And we know each other. Yeah. Or Stiletto. We know each other because we are master rapid eye technicians together, and we've been through trainings and known each other for a few years that way. And Megan has expanded into the world of magic with Access Consciousness. And I was really, really hoping that Megan would accept my invitation to join us today, because her handle on the world of magic and all that's possible is not only really fun, but it's profound. And so, Megan, tell us about yourself and how you came to know the power of magic that you are.
You know, it's really interesting because I think that all of us have we all have magical lives, but seen through the eyes of struggle or I'm just paying the rent, or like from that perspective, sometimes we don't recognize. I love the hearts, and there's like hearts and fairies. Yeah. I think that sometimes we don't recognize how magic our lives are. And I was in a workshop last year in Italy with Jane here, and he invited us to do a journal of like the moments of, he called it miracles, like when in your life have you experienced a miracle? And for me, miracle and magic is kind of interchangeable. You know, it's that possibility beyond what we can define, really. And I started writing some things out, and I was like, holy crap. My life is so magic. Like, things have come at the right time, the right person, in the right place. And even stuff that I was like, why is this happening? No, not now. You know, like,
turned out to be magic.
Turned out to be a miracle. Turned out to be a magic and a miracle. Yeah. And so it's like, I just feel like it's a message whose time has come. I mean, I feel like the Harry Potter books and stuff like kind of really exploded because we were looking for that. We had disconnected from our magic. We had disconnected from our awareness. Magic's always been there, but we've disconnected from our awareness of it. And just that one simple exercise brought me back. And I was like, I'm freaking magic, dude. Like it's time, you know? And that's when I started this whole series of magic events last year. And you came to my Unveil Your Magic, and then you did the first phase of magic school. And it's like, I can't stop talking about it.
It was fabulous, yeah. I talked about it quite a bit, yeah. I still do. Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, if any of you are ready to step into your magic, take a look at Megan's magic school. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Well, I have a live event in Salt Lake City coming up at the end of March called Live Your Magic. And it's going to be amazing. I've been developing this process over this last year that's going to take people on a journey into embodying their magic.
Oh, wow. I am so excited. Tell us a little more about that. When is that?
March 23rd, 24th, and 24th, 25th, and 26th. Of this year, and it's in Salt Lake City, and we'll put a link on here later or whatever.
Let's do it.
The thing about it is that it's like it's part of my everyday conversation. It's not just like something. Oh, I'm doing class. Yeah. It's in everything.
It's like who you are.
Yes. In magic school right now, we're exploring what I call the chaos of bodies, the magic of bodies, and we're looking at this idea that pain is actually suppressed magic and suppressed potency. And like, what if we actually looked at the magic of our bodies and actually took our pain into that portal that actually is magic and brings magic forward out of our bodies? And it's like, how many times have I had a client come in? Have you had a client come in that had cancer or had some physical thing that went down or whatever? and it was their wake-up call.
Yeah. Oh, so
it
many
was their
times.
wake-up call to consciousness. It was their wake-up call to a better life. It was a wake-up call to get out of a relationship. It was, our bodies are so freaking magic, dude. And I actually just, like, this awareness that just came in last night, so I'm super excited about it, is like, what if actually, you know, in the spiritual world, we've been avoiding our bodies a lot, you know, and we've been like, man, I know, this body, this physical world is so hard.
And we're separate from our bodies.
So heavy.
One thing. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what if our bodies actually contain the biggest magic of all? And by the way, as infinite beings, we could be an infinite being right now and not be in a body. We chose to be in a body. We're infinite and we chose bodies. Why did we do that? Just a question. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah. That's a really great question.
I feel like I'm onto something. Yeah. I don't know. It's
too.
not a conclusion. It's just like there's just this bubbling. Like, wow, what are our bodies capable of that we've never even like.
So what I'm thinking discovered. Of as you're speaking, when you first started talking about pain being the container, right, for greater things. So energy changes form, right? It's all just energy. It's all just electrical vibration. And if pain is energy, then we can change the form of it into something else, right? And so maybe our bodies are the greatest vehicle we have, the mechanism we have, the engine, to transform energy from one thing to another.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing. In my work, and this is a tool from Access Consciousness, but it's like when you're looking at asking questions or you're testing things, you want to look to what's light is true and what's heavy is there's some lie attached in there. So does it feel light to you? What Paula just said. And that's what I was going to say, is that feels really light, that feels really expansive. Like our body actually is a vehicle to alchemize the energy from one thing to another.
Right, exactly. That's the word, yeah. It's alchemy.
Yeah.
It's the philosopher's stone?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Well, that's one of the things.
Yeah, yeah. Alchemy.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of alchemy, one of the first people that came on and said hi was Linnell Beckstrom. She said hi. Two of my favorite people. Hi, Linnell. I just did a rapid eye training with her a couple of weeks ago.
Sup? Buttercup!
Yeah, really cool. Really cool. So, let me ask you this about your concept in terms of, or your experience in terms of this expanding into this world of magic and miracles. I know that Access Consciousness is a huge tool in teaching for you now, right? It really is. It's your path and your avenue. So, tell us a little more about Access Consciousness. What is it that really attracted you to it, and what are some of the things that we can pick up today that we can share with everyone that they can start using today to help them expand into this greater sense of their own magic?
Well, one of the things that Access Consciousness brought it back in just a different form was the principle of ask and receive. And it's funny because like that's one of the things that are true are actually written everywhere, like even in things like Bibles, you know, or like it's not just in the metaphysics and stuff like that. It's like the things that are really, really true seem to be all over the place, right? And Access really, one of the things that really works for me about it is it's giving you the tools to live only in possibility and outside of judgment entirely. And one of the vehicles for that is to live in question. Now, I got the idea of wonder, and I was like really like mesmerized by that when I learned it with Gay Hendricks, like just to be like live in the wonder. And that, you know, Einstein said he wasn't smarter than anybody else. He just had the capacity to wonder for longer periods of time.
Oh, really? So I hadn't heard that one.
So
that's pretty cool.
So he would be in question, like the theory of relativity was a question he asked and continued to ask for 20 years until the energy and information and awareness came about the theory of relativity. So he was able to sit and wonder on this question for 20 years. And one of the things I think the trouble we get into in this reality is we are in the fast food industry. We ask a question and we think it's about an answer.
Yes.
We think it's like, where's the answer? Where's the answer? Where's the answer? As soon as you get to answer, you shut off possibility.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Questions are about opening awareness.
Yes.
They're about opening possibility, and they're about opening choice. That's what questions are for. Right. And so it's like, it took the sort of the early work that I did with Gay Hendricks, and it catapulted it to this whole other place of like, I mean, Suzanne was saying on a webinar the other day, she's like, you know how many questions Megan asked today? She's got a reminder, like 50 questions come out. And the reason is that we're so used to looking for a conclusion.
Yeah, it reminds me of our rapid eye training, the left brain, right brain, right? Mm-hmm. The left brain asks the question and the right brain answers it. Mm-hmm. But the left brain won't shut up long enough to let the right brain bring the awareness in. You know, that left brain is so connected to this world and it wants to stay there. And if we would just shut up for a minute, that right brain is expanded too. It will expand and just bring in what it is there. Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of a tool like Rapid Eye, because it really, I think, helps those hemispheres start talking. Yeah. And I would say that, you know, like when we go into survival, if you've had trauma, you end up stuck in that left brain, and then that whole brain is looking for really quick right, wrong, good, bad stuff to keep it safe, and so it won't expand into the possibilities, right? And so if you've got a lot of trauma, that like something like Rapid Eye is so good because it opens you up to the what else is possible in the universe, in the infinite. That's what the right brain gives us access to, and so that's like. I mean, Rapid Eye is magic. We waved wands.
That's right, exactly.
I mean, you still do
wave
that.
My magic wand.
You wave your magic wand. Yeah, in fact, I actually I'm facilitating Rapid Eye this week, so it's still something that's in my back pocket because it's such a great tool to help us bridge over to that magical world and out of our trauma and out of our, you know, our illusions of pain and such, you know. But in that sort of like, hey, what else is possible? How does it get better than this? Like, what's possible that we've never even considered? And like, I'm now getting to a place where I can be in like the hardest spot, you know, and I'll ask a question like, how could this turn out better than I even imagined? And I trust.
That's a gem, by the way. Write that one down. When she puts these questions out, take them and start using the form. Say that one again, would you?
Yeah. How could this turn out better than I ever imagined? And it is miraculous what shows up because I can look, my cognitive mind can look at what I'm calling a problem. And by the way, problems exist because our brain needs to solve them and for no other reason. Right. Problems are a complete illusion, but I know that we still think we have them. So, and sometimes I still think I have them, sadly. But, you know, there's just been this whole process that I've been through in the last few weeks where like it has seemed absolutely impossible to find any opening to some things that were going on in my personal life. And I would just go to the swimming pool and just swim and say, how could this turn out better than I imagined? How could this turn out better than I imagined? Instead of what am I going to do? What's the problem? How can I fix it? These kinds of questions are not really questions. These kind of questions
feed the problem.
They feed the problem and they feed the right, wrong, good, bad scenario, which is that survival, tiny little part of our brain scenario. So asking a question like that and being willing to stay in the question, not, you know, a lot of times we'll ask a big question like that and expect a red carpet to roll out with angels and trumpets.
Right. And sometimes that happens.
Once
in a while that happens.
Really? I've never had that happen. I want to know. If it's possible, I want to know. Tell me. I will sit at your feet and tell me how that happens. But yeah, I mean, yes, sometimes something will come in that's really quite extraordinary and it blows your mind. Yeah. But a lot of times, when something is stuck, it's because your life is being reordered. The universe, you've asked for more. Yeah. And so in order for the more to come, you have to let go of something. You have to let go of old structures. You have to let go of things. And that's another tool that I got in Access. Well, I guess it's kind of a combination of tools. One is that never give up, never quit, never stop. Like, the thing about it is, it's like you could ask a question like, how can I change my money? Or, you know, what's possible with money that I don't know? Or, you know, how could I be richer than, you know, the God or whatever, right? But it's like you have to understand that you have however many years of poverty consciousness that has to be undone, that has to be let go of. And so whether whether it takes you 5 years to shift your money, or 10 or 20 years, or 1 week. You've got to stay in the game. You've got to have your own back. You've got to say, hey, I'm in it. I'm going to change this no matter what. Like, you have to have that I'm in, not like, well, I'll ask, and if I don't get an answer right away, and if I don't get rescued right away, then none of this stuff works. It doesn't work that way.
Amen.
Like,
Amen.
Magic,
that is fabulous.
Magic is created by getting on the field and saying,
and staying there.
I have no freaking idea how to do this. I have no clue, but I am standing here naked in the wind. I'm going to keep standing here naked in the wind until something opens up for me. And so, you know, it's like, and consciousness, the things we ask for, it never shows up the way you think. Never shows up the way you think it's going to show up.
That's right.
So
that's
it's
right.
like, we're going, well, I asked for that, and nothing happened.
True.
Well, actually, your whole life is reordering to have that happen.
Yeah, and it just, exactly. And there's no way that your conscious mind can follow the unraveling to really see what's happening. And when we ask for something, I remember learning this long, long time ago, that fits so perfectly here, that when we ask for something, let's say when we ask for prosperity consciousness, or when we ask for love, everything unlike that will show up. And it has to make room for the thing that we just asked for. So, just as you're saying, you know, if we ask for more money and we don't get it in a week or 2 or a year, you know, but instead we get all the other challenges, and it looks like it gets worse instead of better, and we just give up, then we'll never know. We'll never know what really was possible for us if we had allowed the cleaning out to happen, which is also why doing your personal work is so vital. When you ask for something, when you take a stand and say, okay, I'm ready for this new thing. I'm ready for love. Right? I have many people coming to me looking for their match, their mate. I'm ready for love. When you make that statement, you're inviting all the things that are not love within you, all the things that have kept you from that, to surface and be done. But you've got to be willing to go through that. And that's why that personal work is so important. That's why coming to people like you and me and any really trusted practitioner that can help clear out the old beliefs can make it go so much faster. Linnell, we mentioned Linnell earlier. I remember at a training once she said that they had defined mental insanity not as how often you make the messes. Oh, Charlene is there too. Hi, Charlene. Not so insanity. She defined it as not how many messes you make or how big your messes are, but how long it takes you to clean it up. Right? So if you stay in the game and you do the work to help clean this stuff out, you're going to get through it much faster. Right? The stuff that surfaces is going to be gone a lot faster, and it may not take that 5 years or 10 years. It may just take the week or 2 or the month. And that's when people come back to us and say, it's a miracle. How much I've changed and what's happened, it's a miracle. And the miracle is that we lived with that crap all that time. That's the miracle.
Yeah, so this feels really scary for a lot of us. And it still does for me when I'm asking for something big. But you have to be willing to lose everything. You have to be willing to lose everything, because when you do, right, because this is what I see so much, like, I'm a project-based coach, and so what I do is I help people launch things, I help people grow things, and like bring things into the world and all of that. And one of the things that I see so often is somebody will come to me who's got a nice 6-figure job, and they want to go be a coach or whatever, and they're so comfortable, they don't want to let go of their lifestyle, they don't want to let go of how much money they make, they don't want to let go of any of that. And so it's like they want to hold on to this all the while reaching for that, you know? And like it reminds me of, I have, for anybody that knows me, like, you know that I sort of really resonate with the pirate energy. Yes. You know? And like, and like that was the death of so many pirates, is because they would, something would happen to the boat and they would grab their treasure and go down with it.
Oh, that's fabulous. I love that. I love
like,
that.
I know I probably did that shit. I know I did. Like, dumb, cute, not bright. So it's like, you know, it's like, we're asking, it's like what you said, we're asking for all this new stuff, right? And it's like, but we want to hold on to what we have. And it's like, it don't work that way. And especially most of the stuff that people come to us for, and that people are really desiring, which is like wealth and a different body and travel and love. And it's like those things are riddled with implants and programs. Like love, like that's one of the principles in Access It. Love is actually an implant. And I had to I wrestled with that one. I freaking wrestled with that. And I realized as I'm now undoing that energy, that construct, I was like, oh my gosh, we've all been in this fantasy about the one true one and about the one love and about the this. And it's like, and I'll stop creating, I'll stop being on my vision. As soon as I find my partner, how many people do you know find their partner and frump out and stop creating? Oh. It's insane, right? And so, or we want money, and we have so much primal energy around money. Holy crap. And so the things that we're asking for, things that we're asking for have a shit ton of constructs on them, not just personally, but collectively. Yes. And that's one of the reasons why you've got to get all the way in. If you're going to engage magic, you got to get, it's like, I'm on the playing field, mother, foe. I'm like not going anywhere, and it's scary. That's why we need partners. That's one of the reasons that I do programs. Like my magic school is a safe place for people. I have people from all over the world in that, and they're like supporting each other and holding space for each other as we come out with these weird things we realized we could do, you know, and the stuff that's weird on this planet, or we're transcending things, but we're like sitting there holding this space of we got your back, and I think that's the thing that's missing for a lot of people that are out there trying to change all this stuff all by themselves. And so it's like getting in that space of being able to be witnessed and being a safe space to be able to share your magic and share the changes and share your growth and share the guck. Yes. Absolutely. Share the guck and not have people buy your story, but have them go, it's okay, you got this, you can do this. This girl in magic school, if I can share this is a really kind of a tender thing, but it's changed me. There was a girl in magic school, she's from Sweden, and she wrote last Wednesday, she had a stroke, and as soon as she could move her hand, she typed into magic school. That's the first thing she did. Wow. And she said, I want you to know where I am, and that there's something big here. Wow. And all of these people, because we've just gotten through the module around your magical capacities, so there's all these things opening up for people about being energetic MDs, and there's this one girl that can go in and change the blood, and like they're all doing this really cool stuff, and all of a sudden everybody started working on her, right? And I actually gathered a webinar to do a healing circle with her 2 days later. I happened to be up one night, and she messaged me, and she said, we're changing the world, and I knew in that moment that she was in an awakened state. Yes. I knew in that moment.
That's why she had the stroke.
Yes, yes. That she was in an awakened state, and that we were not getting on that call to heal her. She had something for us. And
wow, my whole body just has my hair standing up. Yeah. Wow.
And we literally, 2 days after her stroke, where she was completely paralyzed, she's talking to us. She's writing. She's moving her body. The only thing is her left side was still a little stiff, and she was searching for words a little bit. But I felt like I was sitting at the feet of the masters, and she was talking about watching her body be cellularly restructured. And we were all on that call just bawling. We were just weeping. Wow. And I was like, oh my gosh, like the thing that I want to say to you guys is we are living in the age of miracles. Yes. Like, that's what's happening. Like, if you want to get on a good train, a fun train, that's the train to get on. Because if you're still making limitation more real than magic, more real than miracles, that will be your reality, and that will be your miracle. It's like you said, it's a miracle that we lived with our shit so long. Yeah. Right. You know, it's like that. Your miracle will be living in limitation, because magic is here. Miracles are here. This is the age of miracles. Like, guys, if you've been like in the consciousness conversation for like a lot of people even on here, like we've started together a long time ago. This time right now is what we've been waiting for. It's not tomorrow. It's not. This is right.
The pinnacle. We're at the pinnacle of our evolution right now. Yeah. And you're either going to get on it or you're going to fall off it.
Yeah, it's I get like, and there is like no stopping me right now.
Yep.
Like, I'm taking it all
I know
on.
it.
I'm taking every construct.
I can feel it just sitting here. It's like, I feel like this huge train. You know that kinetic energy when a big train passes you? It's like, that's how it feels just sitting next to you. It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful story. Thank you for sharing that one about the woman from Sweden. And the thought that came to me when we were talking about the constructs and how they're not only our individual ones, but the mass consciousness. And then you went right into how important it is to share and create our own community. Because what we're doing in doing that is creating our own mass consciousness. Right? We're creating our own sphere of energetic presence that allows us to tap into that rather than mass consciousness. So when you do have that community, right, that circle, that common union, you're creating your own world, right? So when we talk about magic, we talk about the world that creates universes, right? Same thing. We're creating a universe right now, and right here, just sitting here, we're creating our own universe. And the people that are watching us, you've moved into this sphere of our creation. And if you intend and keep your attention on this sphere of energy that we are creating right now as we speak, it'll help you to be able to stay and grow this magic rather than jump out and tap into the mass consciousness. Yes?
Yes. You put that so beautifully.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
Thank you. I just kept seeing this big sphere, and I was like, oh, well, that's really where we want to live.
Yeah.
You know? And some of the ways that we help us, especially in the beginning, in the infancy, all right, of learning how we're what we are literally doing, as there's just imagine if there's us having this conversation, there's thousands of other people right now on the planet having similar conversations, right? And so and that's how we are recreating mass consciousness. And so in order to not tap into the old mass consciousness and stay in this one, there are some things we do need to give up. We need to be willing to lose listening to the news.
Potentially, or being able to listen to it with total allowance and being able to contribute energetically to the change, not listening to it for doom and gloom and as a not reacting to the news is what I would say. But I don't really like. There's a lot of people in consciousness that choose to listen to the news from a different place. It's just that's not my work to do. I'd rather be sitting here talking to all you all.
It's just more fun.
It's just more fun. News isn't fun for me.
And that's fun is an important word when we talk about recreating.
Are you kidding me? If it ain't fun, I ain't doing it, people. Not gonna.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's not much magic then.
And that's the thing. That's how I stay on the field. I create a game that's that's fun enough. Right. It's fun enough that I'll stay on it. I'll stay on the field.
Exactly.
Right. It's like if you get on a field that's boring, like why would you want to stay on that field? You know.
Right. Exactly. And then it's easier to get sucked back into the old stuff. Yeah. If it's not fun enough, there's got to be enough passion and excitement in it to keep you wanting to be in the game.
Yeah, my mentor, Gay Hendricks, I love this question that he asked, and it's been a question that I brought into a lot of my workshops and stuff because I just think it's so brilliant. It's like, what would engage you and delight you so much that if you dedicated your life to it, that you'd be willing to get run out of town for it? And it's those things that it's like so like this is who I am. You can hate me, you can judge me, you can, kick me out of the boat. Right. I'm doing this thing. And it's those places that when you find what those things are, that gets you in the game in a really big way. It's like, I don't care. I don't care who's coming. This magic thing is that for me. Like, I know there's these magical people and beings waking up on the planet. The little X-Men are waking up on the planet. Like, these kids, oh my gosh.
That's a whole nother show. What's happening with the kids, the people that are coming now, because the playing field is fun. They're like, oh, now it's getting fun down there. Let's go check it out and play with them. It's true. Yeah, we really do have some phenomenal beings coming to the planet now. These kids are really.
There was a workshop I just facilitated in Wyoming, and there was a 7-year-old in the front row with a notebook. And I was talking about
Seven.
Seven.
Yeah.
And I was talking about being you and knowing who you are.
Yeah.
And she was just like so intent, and I just looked over at her, and I knew that she had something to say.
Yeah.
And I was like, so who are you? What did you bring the world? Oh, and she goes, I make people happy. When I come into the place where people are and they're not happy, they get happy. And I said, have you ever doubted that? And she goes, no. And I said, so what do you think? I pointed to the adults in the room, and I said, what do you think about it when we doubt it? And she goes, I think it's really sad. I'm like, okay, so would you like to teach the class?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Come on up and I'll have a seat.
She did. She actually stayed up with me almost the whole time. The next 3 days, she was up there. She did my makeup. She said I just couldn't show up the way I was, so she had to change some things. You know, I was like,
I love
cool.
it. Yeah.
But it's like,
it's a beautiful, beautiful story, especially now, to never judge who can be our teacher.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, you're kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a flunky, you know. It's like, what do you got? Like last night when I was teaching the chaos of bodies and the magic of bodies, I feel like the body has been that place where I've gone, I don't know how to do this, you know. And I have this magic school full of body geniuses, and I'm like, what do you guys know about bodies? That's where I started it last night, you know, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's that willingness to not know. And actually the universe that not knowing opens up for us.
Yeah, that's right. And the understanding we were talking before the show, and again the story about the woman from Sweden with the stroke, that knowingness and understanding that when we are doing these things, it's not only for ourselves, but it really is for everybody. As every single time that we make a significant shift in consciousness or experience or understanding or awareness, it does happen. Because that's how energy works, right? It's a frequency, and that frequency goes out, and it does affect everybody and everything. And knowing that helps to keep it more fun for me, and it can be motivating too, right? I mean, there are days when no matter how much fun you're having, there are days when the body just is like, and when you do stop for that minute and breathe and connect and remember, oh yeah, it's all of us. You do get lifted by an energy that's bigger than you. And that stroke story was just beautiful.
All right. It's the magic of my world, because I'm choosing it, and that's why I'm willing to get run out of town for it. Like, I'm going to talk about magic. I mean, even like so many of my posts are about it, and so many people come in kind of with cynical energy on it, and it's like, okay, like if that's the magic you want to create, go for it, you know. But I've got the trumpet. I'm sounding the trumpet, and whoever's ready. Like if the only people that are ready are 7-year-olds. I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the 7-year-olds. Like, that's it.
Well, we need them. We do need them. Yeah. Our concept and experience of ourselves as human beings is what's starting to fade away in the light of these kinds of conversations. And so I really thank you, and I appreciate your presence in the world and what you do for us. And I thank you very much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me today.
Thank you. And we're going to conclude. And one of the things I'd like to remind you is couple of things is to remember to ask those questions, right? Those questions that will allow your right brain, your higher consciousness to answer, not your little tiny self that wants to stay stuck. Right?
Do you guys want a bonus question? That's one of my very favorite questions ever. Don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Stay right there.
She's going to give you a bonus question. And the other thing I'll remind you of as she's doing that is the workshop where she's doing this, that Megan's doing this month.
We'll post the link on this thread. It won't work while the live stream's going anyway, I found out the hard way the other day.
Okay, great.
Okay, so this question I started asking probably 5-6 years ago. I crafted this question. Okay. And because most of us are asking questions like around money that's like, how can I pay my rent? Or how can I travel? But it's like you have to actually start asking questions that will bring in a consciousness that will completely change the dynamic.
Yes.
Right? You can't. Most of the questions people ask around money are rearranging the chairs on the Titanic.
That's right.
Instead of getting a new boat kind of question.
That's right.
This question has changed everything. This has changed my work. Like, I started teaching about money. Like, all this stuff started coming in. I started channeling money. I remember that.
Yes,
right?
It was a great fun little class. It was money. It was very fun.
I was money. Yeah. So here it is. What will it take for me to playfully generate wealth in a way that is so powerful and purposeful that it pulls up and out the most spectacular parts of me and everyone I come in contact with? So, craft some questions for yourself. Like, yes, there's those questions that you ask in the moment called, what else is possible? How can this turn out better than I imagined? How can I use this to my advantage is one of my favorite questions. Because, like, stuff will show up in business, right? And I go, no, how can I use this to my advantage? You know?
I like that. I like that very much.
Because it's like we have this thing about this thing is coming in, it's doing this thing to me.
Right.
Instead of like doing an Aikido move and going, how can I use this? How can I bring it in? How can I use this? And so those kind of turnaround questions.
Everything is a gift. Yeah.
So having those turnaround questions at the ready is really, really important. I think for probably like a few months first into Access, I just would ask what else is possible all the time because it was the only one I could remember. Yeah. Because there's thousands of questions that they craft in Access. But I really want to invite you to do some question crafting.
And ones that, like you said, you can have in the moment because it's so important to catch it the minute something hits you and you want to go down that road of the negative.
Why me?
But you don't want exactly, yeah, because that momentum can happen so quick. So you want something where in that very moment of the creation, you change the creation right there before it can take on that flavor that you don't want to taste.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and then the bigger questions to craft them. This one I shared with you is not necessarily a question I use in the moment. It's a question that I put on my reminder on my phone and it comes to me every day. And I ponder about it, and what does that mean for me, and what awareness wants to open around that for me. And it's a big enough question that I will be asking it for the rest of my life. There's no way that I can answer this question in my lifetime. And those are the kind of questions we want to start sitting with, because that's when we open the conversation with the universe, is when we ask a question like that. Yeah. Because it's unanswerable, actually. Only your life can be the living of it. You know, it's like I feel like my life is the answer. The life that I'm living right now is the answer to this question, but it's not an end game. It's a continuous evolution.
Right. Right. And what I felt and heard when you were reading it is when you said, "How can I generate wealth?" What I heard was, "How can I be wealth?" Because that's what you're saying. That question has done for you. It's helped you to become wealth, to become that endless abundance. That just is always generating and bringing it to you. Yeah, and it is. It's that kind of question that continues that experience. Right. Yeah, very cool. Okay,
awesome.
Are we complete?
I mean, I'm never complete with magic. As you can tell, we're going over. I won't stop talking.
It's just too fun. You guys can hang or
yeah. We might be complete for now.
That's right. Yeah, for the moment. Okay. All right. Yeah, that was really beautiful. Thank you, Megan. Thank you so much. Maybe you'll come back.
Yeah, I love these kind of. This is
what you'd get run out of town for.
This is what I get run out of town for. And like I love being in spaces where these conversations are happening.
Yes, and creating those spaces so that other people get to have them too.
Cool.
It's very fun.
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you so much, Megan. Thank you, everyone. Have a magical week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Bye.